know what time it is? Suicide Boys are back. New World Depression's the name of the new album, and the new release is out. Are you going to see the rose in the vase or the dust on the table? Look, glass half full, glass half empty. Which are you going to look at? These boys are coming up roses. There's no dust for these guys. Mental health awareness is our thing. Go to Patreon. There's a tier on there just for the Suicide Boys. You get to help us pick the songs we react to. But without further ado, Scrim, Ruby, let's go look for some roses, shall we? Yeah.
Hey, already know what time I'm
Yeah.
She tryna get my love. The best I can do is a trauma bond. Hopping these pills got easier, but getting out and get harder. Remember them days in Momo's house. So
Man, this sounds a lot like Scrim on his solo album. I heard Trauma Bond in there. Remember them days at Mama's house? Holding to my grandfather. Oh, going to the past. What a beat drop, y'all. This beat for them, he's right. Scrim told me I was going to like this, and he is 100% correct. The beat, the way it just pops right into it, and then he brings in trauma. I mean, what else could I ask for, right? Come on, let's go again. Yeah.
hey, already know what time I'm on. Double outside, no Audubon. She tryna get my love. The best I can do is a trauma bond. Hopping these pills got easier, but getting out and get harder. Remember them days in Momo's house. My grandfather. Remember them days in the Envoy. It was just me and Adi. Now all of my homies got their own bus, but ain't got time for bonding.
This is so true. This is the story of their life here. It's like the relationships. She wants my love. All I can give her is the trauma bond. And when you got the trauma bond, that's not the healthy bond, right? You're stuck in this kind of little bit of toxicity until you clean up your past and realize that you can trust again, that somebody actually can love you because you deserve it, Scrim. 100% because you deserve it. Whoever's watching this, you can have actual love and trust, vulnerability, and have somebody that's there for you. But then you start reflecting back on the past all the time. People that aren't here anymore, that you used to have connection with, that you miss. And now all of a sudden he remembers this time with Ruby. The time that they would spend together, recording, dreaming, hoping. And now all of a sudden they got houses, they got buses, everything's separate. It's hard to, connect. It's hard to stay grounded, honestly. Oh, telling myself it's okay, knowing that's a lie. You ever do that? Tell yourself it's okay, it's no big deal, it's fine, everything's all right. It's a lie. It's not all right. You got to deal with it. You got to be honest. This is the clean version of Suicide Boys. Understanding, having insight with themselves, being honest with where they're at, and wanting to live a happier, better, more hopeful, possible life. And I love it.
It's a trauma bond. Hopping these pills got easier, but getting out and get harder. Remember them days in Momo's house, holding on my grandfather. Remember them days in the Envoy. It was just me and Adi.
Yep.
Now all of my homies got their own bus, but ain't got time for bonding.
Nope.
Telling myself that it's okay, knowing that's a lie.
Yep.
Hey, never at home, just passing by. I was always told that boys don't cry. Why am I so broke inside? Waste time on the inner child. Motherfucker been dead since 5. See my dad OD at 9. Was never the same again. I never had the chance to win.
Y'all, this song was made for me, I think. I think this song was made for me. This has everything I wanted. He just described his life. Watching his dad OD at 9. The trauma that's involved in early life that you feel like you'll never recover from. And he says, was never the same again. You know what about that? He's right. There is a story that children are, resilient. that they'll bounce back from anything. It's not true. Children are malleable, and I want you to remember that. They're malleable. You take Play-Doh, you can take Play-Doh out of the can. When you start playing with Play-Doh, it always morphs to the shape that you make it, but it's never the same again. Children experience trauma. They are never the same again. They can still live a happy, healthy life, but they're always affected from that. And they're always different as opposed to somebody who didn't go through that. Waste time on inner child. Can I hear this all over again? Because this was all a mental health set. This was so good.
Yeah, knowing that's a lot. Hey, never at home, just passing by. I was always told that boys don't.
Never at home, just passing by. I'm going to go back and play this all the way through because the song is so flipping good. Never at home, on the road, passing by, not grounded, don't have the security of just being there and settling down. Always told that boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Straighten up. You don't need to cry. Boys do cry. Boys need to be able to cry. They don't need to be weak babies running around all soft and sensitive all the time. But they have feelings too. And boys do cry.
Why am I so broke inside? Waste time on the inner child. Motherfucker been dead since 5.
Broke. Dead since 5. Why waste time on the inner child? You know why? You know why, Scrim? So you can be the person you need to be with the person you love. So when you have children, you can be that dad that gives them the love, the care, and the confidence to know that they're worth it, that they deserve love, that they can grow up and have everything you never did. That's why you spend time on the inner child. That's why I love my job. That's why I love what I do when it comes to therapy, because people will say that. Been dead since 5, man. The trauma I've been through, there's no recovering from that. Yeah, there is. And you know what you can do? You can change the generational cycle and allow your children to never experience what you did, and allow your children to be loved and cared for and trust that they deserve that too. And you can give yourself that gift so that the person you're with, that you love, that you spend the rest of your life with, can absolutely experience full love from you instead of holding it back because you've been traumatized. And when you're traumatized, you hold that love back because you can never trust it again. And you don't want to get too vulnerable. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, but this is all mental health.
Remember them days in Mama's house.
Come on, come on.
It was just me and
Hottie.
Now all of my homies got their own bus, but
Ain't got time for bonding.
telling myself that it's okay.
No, and that's a lie.
Hey, never at home, just passing by. I was always told that boys don't cry. Why am I so broke inside?
Ha.
Waste time on the inner child.
Nope.
Motherfucker been dead since
Yep.
5. See my dad OD at 9.
Ah.
Was never the same again. I never had the chance to win. I keep reaching out for help. I can't tell if I'm too concerned with myself. Feel like I'm just collecting dust on the shelf.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Right there, the dust. I can't tell if I'm too concerned with myself. Am I, and this can be the question a lot of times, am I just focused on myself too much? Am I thinking too much about this? I don't think so. Not with what you've been through, Scrim, at all. And you either. Like, we can ruminate, we can dwell, and we can be stuck in the past, but this isn't about being too concerned with yourself at all. I don't think, because that's what creates now. Am I just collecting dust on the shelf? Am I just stuck? That's what I feel like that dust part is. Am I just stuck? I'm eternally just a book that sits on a shelf and collects dust. Therefore, I'm never going to be the same. I'm only going to get dirtier. That's not true. No, you're not. You're roses. Man, Ruby better bring these roses.
I never had the chance to win. I keep reaching out for help. I can't tell if I'm too concerned with myself. Feel like I'm just collecting dust.
Yep.
I think it's time to drop the lights on, but I ain't on 30,000 feet up. Got my ice on, but I ain't up. 30,000
Yeah.
feel like a crooked Congressman. I'm living on Percocet, amnesia, kicking up with my tolerance. I'm trying to win this war.
I cannot believe they're doing this. I can't believe they're talking about where they are today compared to where they've been before. Ruby just said, I'm trying to win this war on drugs. Ruby just said, I'm trying. You know how many songs I've heard from them that said, I'm trying to win no war other than the war of death on myself. Now I'm hearing health. I'm hearing healing. I'm hearing hope. I'm hearing possibility. Oh, of course he follows it up here with, but I lost the battle by calling up the plug. Look, what's important is what you do after what you've done, Ruby. What's important is what you do next. It's always remembering to recover from whatever just happened. My wife says life's a series of choices over time. It is not one choice and you're done. It is a series of choices, steps in the right direction that take you to the path that you want to go, because it is a battle. Addiction is a killer. It will suck the life out of you and it will send everybody around you away till you are left shriveled up like a dang raisin. All the lights are on, but ain't nobody home. Listen to Ruby.
I think it's time to put the lights on, but I ain't on 30,000 feet up.
Yep.
Got my ice on, but I ain't up 30,000 degrees. Yep, I stashed 30,000 in the freezer. Feel like a crooked congressman. I'm living on Percocet, amnesia.
Feels like a crooked congressman. I got 30,000 cash in the freezer. I got my ice on, but I ain't cold. 30,000 with everything. Crooked congressman, you know? That crooked congressman, they present one image and then they live a different image. Sell you a story, but live a lie. And I think that's the part of him talking about himself, like talking to himself about, there's a real battle that goes on a lot of times in our lives with ourselves of who I really feel like I am and how I'm living versus what I try to show people that everything's okay. And sometimes I try to show them it's all okay on the outside when inside I'm dying, I'm shriveling, I'm sinking, I'm regressing, I'm going backwards. Can't keep up with my tolerance. Trying to fight the war on drugs, losing, calling the plug. Come on. Keep fighting, Ruby. Come on. Freezer. Woo. Yeah. This is it. This describes it. I know I'm smiling. And I love addiction because I love seeing recovery. I love to see people honest with how they feel. That moth to a flame, you know, that moth just tracked to the flame, like back into the battle, back in. It's so easy to get sucked back into things because we're used to the sights, the smells, the sounds. That's what's familiar. It's not what we love. Nobody loves getting into that. It is way harder to do recovery than it is to do addiction. Way harder. It's way harder to lose weight than it is to gain it. It's way harder to save money than it is to spend it. As all those ways, recovery is hard. And being honest enough to say what he's saying, like, this is hard. I'm struggling here. I'm having a hard time in life. Not all the time, but if we can say that in life, that's being vulnerable. That's being transparent. That's being open. And that's trusting and hoping that life can be better than it is. Yep. 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 Ah. They keep tempting me to eat the apple. I need the top loose from these threads into a tassel. That they're so good at this. Trying to get you to eat the apple, man. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Naked, comfortable, no sin. Satan comes along. Here's an apple. Tastes good. Yep. You'll have so much wisdom. This tree of fruit is so wonderful. Just go for it. And the temptation is so strong. I mean, he's just being honest with, there are voices, there are people. Everybody's coming at me, out to get me. They keep tempting me to eat the apple, surrounded by all these snakes and jackals. You know what that's like? They're all at your feet. They're all at your face. I'm starting to unravel. Surrounded by all these snakes and jackals. They keep tempting me to eat the apple. I need the top loose from these threads into a tassel. I keep reaching out for help. I I do wonder what that is. You know, I need to tie up these loose ends. And that, to me, that's like, I need to get help. I need to get straight. I need to do what I got to do. I need to tie up loose ends. If you tie up loose ends, it's like you clean up all the dirt, the garbage. You get yourself straight. You get life straight. Tie up all the loose ends. But turn these threads into a tassel. You know, and to me, a tassel. I'm picturing the tassel that's on a graduation cap for somebody who's graduating school, and they move it to the other side when they graduate. I think that's called tassel. And it's like, I want to turn it into a tassel. And I immediately pictured that, thinking, I want to graduate. I want to get through it. I want to complete. I want to make this. I want to get to graduation. I want to get to where I'm supposed to go to be healthy, be happy. That is such a good, I don't know what the actual analogy is, but I need to tie up loose ends and turn these threads into a tassel. So good.
Tempting me to eat the apple. I need to tie up loose ends, form these threads into a tassel. I keep reaching out for help.
Yep.
I can tell if I'm too concerned with myself. Feel like I'm just collecting dust on the shelf.
Woo.
Fuck it. I think it's time to bid farewell. I keep reaching out for help. I can tell if I'm too concerned with myself. Feel like I'm just collecting dust on the shelf. Fuck it. I think it's time to bid farewell.
Man, those bodies in the screen and the fire, like wax people that are just melting, was so symbolic of what they were describing going through, of losing the battle sometimes. But I felt like they gave some pretty interesting both sides of the coin there, the picture of this. This is probably the best mental health song they've ever created. And actually, to me, was a song. It wasn't just a rap. This to me was a song and a cry for help and a cry for just a desire to have life be any different than it is so that recovery can happen. Like, this is my favorite song, and I can't wait to listen to this over and over again. I don't know that this is a song that in a concert everybody's going to be rocking out to, because you know what? I could hear a lot of people saying, man, this is too healthy. This is too clean. You know what, though? Maybe that's what they're doing, is tying up loose ends. Maybe they're seeing life differently. Maybe they are getting to a point where life is starting to become a tassel instead of a bunch of thread that's hanging all over the place. This song, thank you. Ruby, Scrim, I appreciate you for putting these words down, putting that beat to it, and having y'all's voices do it. It's amazing. Remember, it's not real therapy. It's just Tom breaking down lyrics. If you want help, check the links in the description. And please leave us your comments. Go to our Patreon page. There is a Suicide Boys tier there for you to help us pick the songs we react to. And I cannot wait for the rest of this album, New World Depression. I'm telling you, as depressing as this is, I am inspired. I am smiling because there is hope. There's a possibility of making life better, and you can do that too. Never underestimate mental health. You deserve it. We'll see you on the next Reaction Therapy.